Well, more than once I've said that either playing the lotto or going to Las Vegas is not recommended because your long-run odds are negative as opposed to the market where the long-run odds are positive. It's still, sometimes, it can be viewed as at least mere entertainment. And you can certainly get there by driving with that horrendous, takes longer than you thought, 5-hour drive, if say from L.A., or the bus. Oh, don't get me started on that. I thought I'd just cash in my meager frequent flyer points because they're about to expire, and the only ones that qualified were Las Vegas. So landing in McCarran, you're convenient to the south end of the Strip and to the Tropicana, not too expensive, has Hilton Honor Miles. Those are actually kind of good. Allows smoking. Don't get me started. And little tip, the cheaper, as always at almost every airport, the cheaper rent-a-cars are shuttle away from the airport to the car rental area. I tried New Car. No liability on my part. I should know, besides the Strip, there's downtown Las Vegas with the Frontier. Oh, the old cowboy, the animated one, he's gone. You can go to the Red Rock Canyon, go down to the Boulder Dam. They got a new freeway. If you want to really drive, you can get an old-timey Nevada Northern train up in Ely, Winnemucca. But let's see what we can do about staying, getting around, and gambling. Looking at a different version of a map, you see the airport's down there at the bottom, and the now gone cowboy highlighting the downtown area, which is a little bit farther up north. I've taken the liberty on this map of highlighting the Las Vegas monorail with a black line on the right. We'll see more of that in a bit. A tip there, book it in advance, save 20%. It's cheaper also day by day, stopping at a lot of the major casinos and hotels. Here's a map with the monorail fully detailed, stopping again at some of the major casinos. I took the liberty of the lower version of also circling in yellow the various bridges that connect the major casinos' hotels. You can, in many cases, go from one to another with another, maybe not even having to go outside and or go down to the street level, which begs the question, where do you want to stay and or visit? Well, I took this from CNN. They say that the best casinos for sports betting are Caesar's Palace. For slot machines, you go to a place called the Aria. And if you want to play poker, you want to go to the Bellagio. Well, we'll talk about that and the various other games. For non-gamblers, go to the MGM Grand. If you want diversity of table games, go to the Golden Nugget. And you can probably get some of that downtown. Also, the Red Rock Casino, that's on off-strip joints if you're going out to the Red Rock area. And for foodies, you know who you are, the Cosmopolitan. And for views, go to the Stratosphere. I don't want to take that ride on the outside roller coaster. Ooh, let's see. Casino pool, get nice tan. The Mandalay Bay, and a spa, the Venetian and the Palazzo. Here are the payouts for the various winning hands for playing poker. And if you're playing on a video game or with a real person, generally they're going to treat you right. A little tip, sometimes they come from a shoe. That's the deck of cards. And if there's more than one, your card counting skills aren't going to work very much. This game is winnable. While winning with the best hand, which is a royal flush, that's all in a row, highest, and of the same suit, and shown here on a video game, you can do it more than once. That's not more likely. Here's an absolutely dreadful losing hand. One of the things Las Vegas allows, it's a trick but legal, is they will show hands that are close to winning when in fact they were not the ones that actually were shown and determined. And this could have been actually the one that I just looked at previously. Now, there are, of course, non-poker video games with every perturbation you can think of. I have to admit, I like the Michael Jackson one just for the music. And all kinds of combinations. Let's see, this looks like a loser here. And by the way, sometimes you can do combinations, multiple rows, zigzag rows. You generally want to play a lot, but not all of them. That's kind of a rule. 5 is a good guess. I do like the progressive games. In particular, I like the one which is actually the most popular slot machine, and that's from the Wheel of Fortune. It, like some others, have a wheel on top, which, as near as I can tell, is the last component available on a slot machine that allows analog English. You know, you don't want to break the machine, but you can kind of... I've won more than once. I really find that's very interesting. Now, some of the experts say don't play the progressives, where you're all linked in with all the slots together to a big jackpot that sits above the entire casino. I have to admit, I do like those. In fact, one of my strategies, a lot of people say it's not a good one because the odds are generally worse, is to go for the big payouts. Yeah, you can double your money on black and red if you're playing roulette, likewise in playing poker. But, you know, if you're going to go to Las Vegas, I'm up there for the big triple, quadruple, my goodness gracious, big $1 million wins. And this is where let's look at some other games. So, you know, some of the other high-paying games include at one extreme Baccarat, which is complex and is for real high rollers. Yeah, you can play craps with the dice. But there's Keno. Keno, you got 80 numbers. They pull 20, and you can make various bets. Usually get better odds on the machines than in the real-life versions. But the real-life ones are kind of diverting. You can eat and watch and play at the same time. With a myriad of payouts depending on how many you call. And you can, you know, do it all the way from a nickel on a machine, a buck is ordinary, higher and lower. Let's say we start with a buck. And the payout tables, here we have a more formal analysis. And you'll see on the right the expected probability of the payout. That's the, you know, the chance times the reward. The payoff can vary by some casinos. And turns out most people recommend somewhere between 7 and 10, partly based upon the payout and partly based upon your probability of winning. And I tend to agree. You want to at least get a significant number of payouts that can, you know, keep the game going, but at the same time give you a chance to really win. And of course, at the high end, they tend to truncate the payout. That's no surprise. In fact, I've read somewhere that nobody has ever picked a perfect high payout game. And to make this all a little bit more simple, I took all of those and put them into a spreadsheet. Left-hand side is how many you are calling out of the 20 balls selected from the 80 possible, and the payouts going across horizontally. And you can see, well, it certainly does become more difficult to be more accurate. And of course, also notice that the payouts start to become significant enough to make it worthwhile to pay, if not for the trip, maybe something more. And of course, on the other hand, as you go way up, it's actually they're not paying enough out to actually cover the odds. So again, somewhere between 7 and 10 is recommended with DrCinvests.